Where am I? How did I get here? Who am I? Oh, crap. Welcome to Mike's Gaming Gala. I'm Mike, and this week we're looking at Unnamed for the Atari Lynx, published by Songbird Productions. Unnamed comes in a professionally printed box with a manual and a new injection molded cartridge. This was a choice of my members for review this month. I actually streamed this last year, so spoiler alert, I already know it's great. But let's take a deeper dive. After the splash screen, we get a title screen that prompts us to press any button. Then we can either start a new game, or if you have one saved, resume. Starting a new game, we wake up laying in the grass. We don't know where we are, we don't know how we got there, hell, we don't even know who we are. With that wealth of information, we set off to explore our environment, in hopes of finding some answers. Unnamed is an exploration puzzle game, where you'll have to search your environment for items and places to use them so that you can escape. I'm not going to get into a step-by-step guide here. The real fun is exploring and discovering what you need to do. That said, this review will be full of spoilers, including the ending, so if that bothers you, best tune out now. The screen here is divided into two sections. At the top is the environment that you're in. You play as this person in orange, and it'll be your task to find a way out. To do this, you'll use the lower half of the screen where you have 4 different actions that you can take at any given time. Move, look, take, and use. Move is pretty self-explanatory. You move with a D-pad, and this is how you'll navigate each area up top. Pressing the A button activates the look command. This will give you a written description of what you're seeing in the bottom right box. This should be your most used action in the game. The graphics here are really nice for the system, but of course, dealing with a comparatively small resolution like this means that a lot of things will be simplified and you'll need to look at them to better understand your environment. Also, often when you look at something, the description will hint that it can be interacted with in a different way, using the other 2 actions. Pressing the B button activates the take command. If you're facing something that can be acquired, pressing this will add it to your inventory in order to be used later. Usually, you'll find stuff to pick up by first using the look command, but for chests and open barrels, using the take command should just be an automatic instinct. There are a few situations where you have to interact with something. In these situations, the take action is what you use to operate them. Finally, pressing the option 1 button on your Lynx activates the use command. Despite what you might instinctively think this does, it doesn't directly interact with anything in your environment. Rather, pressing use opens up your inventory to show you all the items you could potentially use in a situation. Here, you then pick an item to use by moving to it with a D-pad and pressing A to select it. If it can be used where you are, a description of what happens is shown. Otherwise, text saying that the item can't be used will be revealed. With this command, you have to actually exit use mode before you can do anything else. Do this by pressing option 1 again. Alright, now that we know how to play, let's look at some tips and tricks to help you get through this without too much frustration. I say frustration not because of this game specifically, but rather the genre. Undoubtedly, there will be times where you'll be wandering around and wondering what to do. If you find yourself really stuck, you can watch my raw game footage tomorrow, but honestly, half the fun is working through it. If you're never planning on playing it, it's a fun watch though. This game requires a lot of backtracking. As you advance, don't get caught up on being in those later areas. If it seems like there's nothing more you can do, it's entirely possible that there isn't, at least yet. Retrace your steps and look to see if anything you have can interact with places that you couldn't before. Also, keep an eye out for anything that's changed. Careful observation is essential to effective gameplay. When in doubt, use a look command on absolutely everything, even if it looks insignificant. You never know what you might find. In most cases, if there's something that you can pick up or interact with, the look dialog will indicate that. The same goes for the use command. There are a couple things here that may not initially be intuitive. Part of that may be due to the English translation here. At no point is it an actual issue, but some of the words they use may be slightly misleading. For instance, when you pick up the axe, what you've actually picked up is a pickaxe. Similar name, very different use. So don't be afraid to try pretty much any item anywhere. One of the great things here is that the game doesn't allow you to make the wrong moves, so you can keep trying to use items until they work. Remember, if you watch my gameplay footage tomorrow, I've played this before, so it'll look like a breeze and I beat the game in about 35 minutes. Rest assured that my first time playing took me much longer. Once you've made it all the way to the end, you'll get the answer to the mysteries in the game. Well, you'll get an answer. Like I said at the start of this review, I streamed this last year. Here, spoiler alert, is my reaction to the ending. Was I sleeping the whole time? You wake up in your own bed in your own home. You remember where you are and who you are. You feel trapped, boxed in by its walls. The walls, however, are abstract. They are a figment of your imagination, created from fear of change. The walls block progress and creativity. Will you try to break them down? Was this a f***ing more... This was a really good game, but that ending was bull***. It was like an Aesop's fable right at the end. And that's Unnamed for the Atari Lynx. So what did I think? Well, despite my disappointment in the ending, the journey was fantastic. If you like puzzle and deduction games and you're looking for something to play on the Lynx, this is a great one. Unnamed looks great and the gameplay is solid. It has a lot of atmosphere and I liked it a lot. Highly recommended. Thank you for watching my video, I hope you liked it, and thank you so much to my channel members who chose this game for me to review, and they always pick a great one. Your support means a lot to me. As always, my contact info is in the description, and we'll see you next time on Mike's Gaming Gala.